following show is a paid program.
Hey family, thank you so much for tuning in today. We have a lot going on. We have two guests on the day. First, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to you on Thursday. That's coming up for this week. I want to just say happy holidays to you. The other thing too I want to say is Universal Soul Circus is in town until December the 6th. So while you're out and while you're running around, maybe send the children there as well as yourself. Have a great time. On today, we have Tsunami, who is a real good friend of mine. She is the owner of Networked It, and she is the founder of Women to Watch International. At 1 o'clock, we're going to have my friend Tracy Whitehead, an insurance advisor, and we will be talking about healthcare. Hey, lady, how you doing?
How's it going, Cam?
Oh, I'm doing excited. I'm excited to see you. She won an award as usual, like always. I went to an awards event and there she was, and we finally got to talk. I always see her on Facebook and we talk amongst there. But let's talk about what you're doing, lady. You're doing a lot.
I am doing a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, yeah.
I was so intrigued, first of all, about Networked It. Let's talk about that. How did that start and why?
Well, Networked It actually came about after I'd retired for about 15 years in the legal field, just burnt out. And even though I tried to walk away, I couldn't walk away because the phone calls kept coming. And I kept getting all these emails and messages from people, colleagues, constituents, and just wanting help, wanting to start their business, wanting to take the leap, wanting me to look at contracts and tell me if it was a good idea or not. So I said, okay, so obviously I'm not leaving the legal field, but it kind of maneuvered into this, and that is how Networked It started.
That sounds great. The other part of that is Women to Watch International. Just a little brief on that real quick about how that one got started.
Women to Watch International. Now that's a big one. So because I got to work with so many talented people with Networked It, some of the women, and I noticed specifically the women who had great business ideas, who had great concepts, and who really was ready to start, and they actually had started, many of them. They just didn't have the same support system in place that the men had. So, it had to be something that I could do to help these women because my clients were 50-50 in the beginning. And then I noticed that number go to 75% men, 25% women. And then lo and behold, I look up, I've got about 90% men clients, and I go, wait a minute, something is wrong here. What's happening? So it wasn't that they didn't have great concepts or ideas. They had so much on their plates already. We've got mothers, they're working full time. They got soccer practice, cheerleading practice. They got to pick up the kids and bring them to football practice, cook dinner. So it's just like they didn't have the help. They needed something extra, somebody behind them. They needed a circle, if you will. And so after noticing women who were getting ready to just throw the towel in and just stop, I mean, these women were pillars in the community. I'm talking about been at this thing for 25, 30 years, and they're getting ready to stop. And I go, no, we don't stop. We don't do that. So Women to Watch International was birthed because of a need. We need to have some fire behind these women. They're powerhouse women, and they should never feel that they have to stop. So Women to Watch International is a global organization that meets every industry. We're not industry specific. So whether you own a truck driving company or whether you have a beauty salon, we don't really care. We've got attorneys, we've got accountants, we've got Mrs. North America 2017, we've got a 2-time Emmy award-winning journalist, Monica Pierre. We've got Andrea Chen, who was over the propeller in New Orleans. She was the brainiac behind this concept that finds the money for any startup, millions of dollars She started in New Orleans. So our women are everywhere, from different walks of life. We're very diverse, cultured. You see my face. I don't represent every woman. We've got white, black, Hispanic, we've got Asian, Indian, you name it. We don't care because we're all women. And our commonality is that we're going to support each other in business, and we're going to be that fuel behind you and underneath your wings. So Women on Watch International was by design, just put together for those women who need it.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that. You were born New Orleans bound, look native.
I am a New Orleans native. I am born and raised in New Orleans, 30 some years. And it's very hard to leave New Orleans. The
Yes.
food, the home, but there's no place like home. I do go back. I frequent as often as I possibly can, but work sometimes just doesn't allow me to be there. But I can cook New Orleans style, so that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Just
Okay.
going back and looking at your own background and looking at the fact leadership, civil law, computer management, you built a paradigm at that
I
point
did.
of with networked. But I wanted to bring people to know that you really are focused not only on women, but today our topic is women empowerment and how we
Yes.
empower women and how we let our queens know that they are enough.
That's right. That's right, Cam. And so one of the things I try to drive home is, one, the first thing is don't ever quit.
Yeah,
That is the first thing. I've got a video that went viral. It's from my very first festival that I did. We'll talk about that later. But that video went viral because there was a band of women. The circle was as wide as the convention center, I guess, the area that we were in. And there was not a dry eye in the building, because once we realized the power of we and that connectivity, we stood as if there was nothing that we could not do. We stood together in arm and locked hand in hand, and we just stood with each other. We stood for those who, may have been struggling with alcohol dependency. We stood with those who've overcome molestation and rape. We stood with those who've lost loved ones, or maybe breast cancer survivors. There was so many different women in the room, and most of them, 99% of them, were all business owners. So we never know a person's struggle. We never know what they're doing day by day just to survive. And when you're running a company, you've got so many different dynamics involved in that. And we really have to have a serious support system, or we're going to fail. No
absolutely.
doubt, we're going to.
Absolutely. And that's what I wanted women to know, that there is a group, no matter
Yeah,
the nationality, but you bond by women.
that's right. No matter the industry, no matter your
Right.
nationality, womenonwatchinternational.com. Go there, read about us, see what we do. We actually honor these women. We're getting ready to have a huge black tie gala and dîner rouge. That means all the ladies will be in red. This formal event is taking place in downtown Houston at Morton's, the Steakhouse, who's one of our biggest sponsors for this event. I can't thank them enough for what they're doing. Another shout out to International Focus Magazine, who has supported Women on Watch International for the last 4 years. They've been a constant partnership, and I can't do what I do without the support of the community.
Yes.
These ladies can't get what they need without the support of the community. So thank you so much to them. But that's taking place this Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Definitely, we'd love to have everybody be a part. We have to cap the numbers, obviously, because we're being COVID conscious there, and Morton's is taking every precaution to make certain that we're safe, reducing tables from 8 to 6, just making certain that everybody feels comfortable and can enjoy themselves during the gala.
Absolutely. And what I love about that is that the women that you do bring on, and in the group, you all network together. So if somebody is in your own network, you try to
Yes.
give them the business.
That's right. We pull from within. That's right.
Yes.
So if you're a realtor, if you're a dentist, if you have a dry cleaning service, we're in different cities. So if you need a chapter in LA, we're coming. New York, we're coming. We're already in New Orleans. We're in Dallas. We're in Houston, of course. That's our corporate office. And we're in Chicago. We're going nationally. We've had events through Miami. We just came back from Denver. We were supposed to be in Colombia February, but because of COVID, we capped that. And we'll wait, of course, until it's feasible for us to bring the ladies and make sure everybody's safe. But we're not limited. We have no restrictions. We have, we can go. If you're in Africa, give us a call. We would love to work with you. We have people that are global. Like I said, Mrs. North America is from North Cabato. And then we have a few people from, as a matter of fact, one of the award recipients that we're going to meet on Sunday, Soledad Tanner, she's a native of South America. So we've got a great diverse women, a collection of women and talents and just industries that you would not believe. We support every industry. That is what they need to know.
Absolutely. Shout out to Val Thompson, who is one of the sponsors.
He's the brainiac, yes, behind International Focus Magazine.
Yes.
Val, we love you. We can't do half of what we do without you guys. You have been a great support from the very beginning. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about the fact with women, you ladies are mothers.
Yes.
Many single mothers sometimes, and then you're still running your own business and you're still doing this and that. And then you have the camaraderie and you need that support sometimes, just a call. Hey, I'm going through this, or these are the things I need. And that's what I love about your organization.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely needed. True story I'll share real quick with you about my personal situation. About 20 years ago, my kids were little. They were maybe 4, 8, 2, maybe 2 going on 3. And I had landed this huge opportunity to do marketing in New Orleans. I had major clients. One of them maybe at the time was Walgreens. I had Franklin Avenue Baptist Church, University of New Orleans. So had really big customers, and I could deliver. I'd sell about $1,000 a day in product. And that's about 20 years ago. So that's pretty good for sales, right? $1,000 a day, that's 30 grand a month. Well, I am that person that I talk about. I had a good support system at home, but I didn't have a wheel of women. I did not have those connections. Back then, networking was not as consistent as it is now. It was not readily available. But today, had that been me 20 years ago today, there is no telling where I would be, because I would have had endless resources, endless connections. So what I decided to do was not only help those women who were getting ready to quit, I also wanted to make certain that no one ever had to face what I faced.
Right. That's the other thing too. First of all, people are saying there's no way you could have had children 2, 4, 6, 20 years ago with your looks.
Yes. My son, my oldest, is about 25 years old. Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you.
So they're throwing that out there. And these are seasoned business owners, many of them, corporate America execs, a lot of them.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It just, you never know what a struggle is going to be. We take on so much because we just know we can do it. But once we take that on, we're dead set in completing something. It's very hard when there's challenges. And those challenges could be, not having enough resources, not tapping into the proper funding, not knowing how to expand with expansion if you're trying to get new clients and new leads. We have so many brick walls, but just having the right connections in place to maybe call, maybe email, reach out to, have lunch with, in your area. Sometimes it's just one phone call. That's all it takes. And you'd be amazed at how many people go, oh my gosh, it was that easy. Yeah, it was really that easy. We don't need to recreate the wheel. We just need to make sure that the wheel keeps turning.
Absolutely. The other thing is your festival. Let's talk about the festival, the creation of that.
Yes, so I can take all the credit for that. So I'll have to be honest. So it was during one of my award shows, and actually our friend Val Thomas was there, and he said, Angela, I know something that you could do. I know that you could get this thing going here in the city of Houston. He said, of all the people, I really think you could do it. And he presented me with the idea. And I say, "Ooh, that's pretty big."
Mm-hmm.
Because in New York City and Washington, they turn up 50,000, 100,000 in the street. Easy. They do a huge International Women's Day. And the city of Houston, we just kind of don't do it. And we've got over 6.5 million people. That's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah, that's going to be huge. Let me think about it. And I thought about it and I said, you know what? Why not? Why shouldn't Houston have it? We are leading the country in everything from innovation to technology, of course, oil and gas. Women, we're on the rise, empowerment. We've got women speakers and they're starting small businesses and they're kicking butt in sales. They need a day to celebrate. Let's do it. We need a day to say this is set aside for us because think about it. Mother's Day is only for mothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's only for mothers. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have kids, you're not celebrating Mother's Day unless you're honoring your mom, but
Right.
it's not for you. But everybody that is female is a woman,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a mother or not. You
Right.
can celebrate on that day. And so that's what we did. As a matter of fact, we were the last major event that the city of Houston, right before COVID shut everything down in the city, we were like the last one to go at the convention center. So we just made it by the skin of our teeth. And it was in March 8th of last year, of this year actually. And
Wow.
we'll do it again next year on March 7th.
And what does that consist of, the festival? What does it really look like?
Oh man, it's a day of everything. You're talking about women can get makeovers. We got empowerment seminars. We had Dr. Laurel Strong open up with Zumba and Mary in Shackles. We had the crowd dancing. They can shop, get jewelry, clothes, good food, walk around and network and just have a great day of just being a woman. Anything and everything that a woman loves and wants to do and just kind of set aside a day, you can be prepared to do it for International Women's Day Festival. It's a huge deal.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys, we had to spend on that one. I know.
Just a little bit. We make it easy. I promise. It's not
Because trust me,
overtime.
I know Tsunami. She had all of the places out there, I'm sure, for people to spend, for all of the ladies to shop, for all of them to do nails and all of the other things. So, yes, I know.
And not to mention, we had a huge fashion explosion that day. We brought in Fama models, and they're world known. They did a tremendous runway, and we had Abby Hamden, which is I mentioned earlier, which is Mrs. North America 2017.
Hmm.
She was the head of that organization, and they walked and they tore up the runway. I can't put it a better way. They ripped it in half. So yes, it was something to see. So I'm sure they'll be coming back this year.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What are they to look forward to for Sunday?
Oh, yeah, we're excited, super excited. We've got some dynamic speakers lined up. I'm not going to give away all the element of surprise because we want you in the room, but I have to give a shout out to Ricky Davis, the classic man. He has performed exclusively at all of our events because I'm partial to him. He's a great Frank Sinatra classic man, but he can
Yes.
sing anything. If you're watching this, you are all that. And believe me, those ladies, they love to come and see you. And his voice is just awesome. He can sing anything.
Yes, he can.
Just, the ladies
Yes.
love it, yeah.
Absolutely. Going back to networked it, a lot of people were asking, they said it has part of real estate investing involved. A lot of people like that.
There is. So I dabble in a lot of different things because I have the legal background. And it was really, like I said, kind of hard to shake all of that. But I found that, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I don't know how much time I have, but if I could give somebody a recommendation,
Hmm.
if they were to say, okay, Tsunami, I do want to be involved in business. I really need to know what can I invest in? What is going to bring me the best return on my investment? I'm going to tell them two things off the top. One is real estate and the other is insurance. And I know you've got something coming up later that can speak to that. But real estate, a return on your investment in real estate is priceless. It's never ever going to lose value. We're always going to need land, and someone is always going to need a place to live.
Hmm.
So if you can, and you can, because I show people how to buy real estate with 1,500 bucks. And they go, well, wait a minute, I was going to buy some red bottoms. No, don't buy shoes, buy real estate.
Hmm.
But I wanted a Gucci bag. Hold off on the Gucci bag. Let's get your first real estate investment. And I promise every month you can go and buy a new Gucci bag. Let's put our priorities in order.
Right.
And once they see how easy it is, actually, I have a group right now of some young investors, and we're going to go check out some different ranches in the state of Texas. We're looking to get about 20 to 30 acres, actually. And I show people how to do this. This is not anything that I just do on my own. So I always want to educate. I always want to empower. You empower by securing your finances. Credit building is great, but if I could teach 99% of especially women who spend and max out credit cards, you really don't want to use your credit. You want to save your credit. You want to invest. And if you can, both of my companies, Networked It and Women to Watch, we're in the black. I have never been in the red. And so to do that, you got to know what you're doing. I don't want all the credit cards. I don't want the high interest rates. I don't want the loans. If you don't need them, don't get them. Now, if you have an expansion that validates you spending that kind of money and getting the financing that you need, and you can get a good return on your investment, and you're not putting your company or your business in jeopardy, then do it. But that's a big statement. If you're not putting that business in jeopardy, because I've seen where it looks like a good deal, but the overhead and the monthly and the financials because of credit or mortgages or maybe a small business loan, you're not profiting anything, because by the time you pay your staff or you pay the expenses and pay back the loan, you're not profiting anything. So you've got to be very careful with those financials.
Absolutely. I'm glad you spoke about that, and I'm glad you speak about the fact you go and you bring groups of people, and many of them can collaborate together and pull together. Yes.
And many of them do. Like after you're networked, you've got people that have got real estate agents calling photographers needing real estate agents, needing bankers, needing CFOs who can help them balance their books, and they're all connected. So now they have everything they need.
Absolutely.
It's a well-oiled machine. Yeah. And that's what it was intended to.
Yeah, and that means that even during COVID, you know how things shut down, 40 million people unemployed at this point. And that, man, just the crisis, just the crisis of it. You're able to also tap into people's gifts. Many people have gifts that they really, explore. And you have a way of talking to a lot of the women and say, hey, what are you good at? What do you really like?
Right. It takes me about 5 minutes of being one-on-one in a room with a female, with a lady, being a little different, but with the women, because it comes out. It just naturally comes out. And then I go, well, what are you waiting on? This is awesome. This is a perfect idea. Why don't you do this and this? Why haven't you done A, B, and C? And a lot of times they've been trying, maybe they've been trying, and maybe they just not had the fuel. Maybe they've just not had the gut, because sometimes fear gets in the way. What if I fail? What if I try it and nobody likes it? And what if I try it and it doesn't work? What if I try it and somebody laughs at me? You've got to be daring. This is for thick skin. You cannot, be intimidated, because you may be 1 inch away from the next best thing.
Absolutely.
And if you don't ever try, you will never, ever know.
What would you like to leave with the viewers, and also tell them again how to get tickets to the event?
Awesome. So I'll go ahead and I will give you guys a link if you're interested in attending the Women to Watch Awards Gala. It's going to be 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. on Sunday, and you can get tickets by going to womentowatchgala.eventbrite.com. That's womentowatchgala.eventbrite.com. And if I can leave anything with you, is 2020 taught us a lot of things. I know it was a lot that we didn't intend to happen. I know there's a lot of things that we wish wouldn't have happened. And I know there's a lot of things, if we could go back, we would change. But the reality is we can't, right? None of us can rewind the clock and go back in time. It's gone, it's gone. But what you can do right now is make every effort to prepare for tomorrow, to make certain that you are secure in an unsecure world, that your money is financially sound. Invest in something that is going to give you a return on your investment, and buy what you need. I know that's hard. I'm a woman. I love beautiful things. Believe me, I do. But right now is the time that you buy what you need invest and save the rest. I promise you, you'll thank me for it later.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tsunami. I appreciate you so much for coming on. I
Thank you
have
for
been
having
waiting
me.
for this one because I know for women empowerment, my God, and this weekend on Sunday is going to
Yes.
absolutely be beautiful. I've seen past events, and I'm telling you, this is
Yes.
going to be a showstopper.
This is going to be a showstopper for the who's who. You want to be there, believe me. Just the silent auction alone that's benefiting the Moore Institute, a foundation that I'm happy to be a part of, that you'll see more of in 2021.
Thank you, lady. We'll be right back, and we'll be back with Tracy Whitehead, insurance advisor.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Ron Carter Cadillac, Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, delivers test drives to your home or office, like the new 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection, only $299 a month, the new 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection, $399 a month, or the first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, just $499 a month, all for 39 months lease with just $1 down, or purchase and choose 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 bonus cash with no payments until March 2021. Visit RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm attorney Willie Powles. Allow me to express myself with you. If you've been hurt or injured in a car or truck accident, give me a call and we'll get it fixed today.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, thank you so much for coming back. And we will post everything about Tsunami's event. Thank you, lady, for everything. Tracy Whitehead is our insurance advisor. He is coming up at this point. We so appreciate it. We also want to do shout outs to Marina Coriat, Adrian Chestnut, Crystal Edwards, and Pamela Berry, and Tanisha Williams. They're online right now just looking and doing shout outs. Hey, our topic right now is health insurance, and we want to talk to Tracy Whitehead right now about Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act 2021. Hey, my friend, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited that you brought this to my attention, just about the dates and just the time frame. We haven't heard a lot of it, or I haven't heard a lot of it as far as advertising is concerned. And it started on November the 1st. It's open enrollment right now, and it ends December the 15th.
Yes. It started November 1st. Open enrollment, like you just said, November 1st, ends December 15th. I like to think of it as right after Halloween is health insurance time, because that's when you have Medicare, that's when you have the Affordable Care Act, that's when a lot of people with their insurance company, health insurance with their job, that's when they need to start making these sort of decisions. So right after Halloween, that's usually when everything happens. And that's my time to say, hey, people, I'm here. Let's talk about this, because I love talking about healthcare. Because why? All of us need it. All of us must have it. And so I'm just grateful that you gave me the opportunity and this platform to share what we can to the people.
Well, I am telling you, he is an insurance guru, a very, very good friend of mine. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, as they put it, they don't put Obamacare as much as they used to because he's still president, and he's not in office, right?
Still president in a lot of our hearts, as you know, and as you just said, they don't call it Obamacare, but I will say this: in other parts of the country, they don't have a problem saying Obamacare.
Absolutely.
In certain parts of the country, maybe where we live, I'm not certain, you can't really say it. You call it the Affordable Care Act.
Absolutely. Our disclaimer on today is this is for information purposes only. What we discuss
Yes, sir.
You're very free. People are very free to Google it themselves and look it up. But I'm telling you, if you need somebody to talk to about any insurance and get your insurance from this young man, I'm telling you, he's a guru. The insurance was designed to make health insurance available to more people. That was the main thing.
It's two main things. You are right in what you just said, but let's just add something to it. Designed to make insurance available to more people and also designed to make it more affordable. Right. And I think the affordable part has been beat up on and not as appreciated as it should be, but has made insurance more affordable, has made insurance more available. One of the ways that it made it more affordable is simply because you have what's called a maximum output, meaning this is the maximum you'll have to pay within your benefit year. And I know I'm probably using a lot of terms, so just bear with me. So within a benefit year, which can either be January to December or whenever your policy began, might have begun in March and end in February, that'll be your benefit year. So within that period, you will have a maximum amount that you could be on the hook for, which is different than before. Before, you could be on the hook for $2 million, unfortunately, if you got cancer, and it would just keep rising within that year. But at least now in the Affordable Care Act, you have a maximum amount, and everyone should pay attention to that within their policy. The other good thing that my educated friend, Mr. Hill, brought up during the break was what? Pre-existing conditions. That's another way that it made it affordable. Affordable because now you have people who had cancer before who can now get individual health coverage. Before, the only way they could get coverage before the Affordable Care Act was with how? Through their employer. Because employer, they would take anyone in that situation. But if they wanted to be a small business person and they had cancer, let's say 2-3 years ago, or had some other health condition prior, you couldn't get it. But now you can get it. And these are just small examples, some examples of how this coverage is now affordable and available.
I'm glad you said that. 40 million people, again, are unemployed at this point.
Yes, sir.
And many of them, of course, lost their health care.
Yes.
Let's speak to the benefits of what this would be.
The benefits of what this would be is before you had the opportunity to go under COBRA. And I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with COBRA. So if I had a job, the employer might have been paying for 50%, 75%, whatever percentage, but you would pay that employer rate. So if the employer rate was $1,000 for an individual per month, well, that's what you're going to be paying if you took over that policy. Under the Affordable Care Act, because you're now, and I'm not, let me preface this, I am not an accountant, okay? I'm not an attorney, but under the Affordable Care Act, it does consider your current income. So if you're telling me that your current income is zero because you lost your job, which I think would be a truthful statement, well, then guess what? Under the Affordable Care Act, you would qualify as long as you apply within 60 days of your cancellation of insurance. And usually that date will sever when you sever or separate from your employer. So in that situation, those who lost their job, you have 60 days to try to get on the Affordable Care Act for insurance that could be covered in full or at a reduced rate, depending on what you claim that your income may be. Others, if you want to stick with the company healthcare, because it probably was a good one, you have the option to do COBRA, and COBRA is going to be more expensive. And I think there is a lot of confusion when people say, well, it took my healthcare away. It really didn't take it away. It gave you more opportunity. It gave you more availability. And as Mr. Hill brought out, it made it more affordable.
Absolutely. Let's go into a few of the benefits. COVID-19 right now is a huge impact amongst us. And many people are that maybe do not have the health care or do have Affordable Care Act or, have COVID or cancer.
Right.
Cancer is another one that has been
Yes, sir.
very huge. Let's speak on those.
Well, one of the things with the Affordable Care Act, and we're just going to put the date out there again, you need to get on board by December 15th.
Yes.
And for those who qualify for Medicare, you need to get on board by December 7th. So let's just don't forget these dates because they're coming upon us. With COVID, if you had COVID, which is a new pandemic, a new disease, we don't know all the symptoms. A lot of carriers prior to the Affordable Care Act, unfortunately, would have said no because we don't want to play with this. We don't want to mess with this. We don't know what this will do. We don't know the long-term effects. But because, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, Mr. Hill, Obamacare, because of Obamacare, you can now get health insurance and not have to worry about having COVID, not have to worry about having cancer 3 months ago, 5 years ago, not have to worry about having diabetes. You can get individual health insurance, and that's the significant part about this. We're talking about individual health insurance versus, as I started off by saying, you have Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, you have Medicare, you have your business, your employer type health coverage. So you're going to fall in one of those. And again, what it did is it made it more accessible, more affordable for all of us to at least have the opportunity to get health care if that's something we think we need, which I think all of us are going to need at one point, because at one point you're going to be sick.
Yeah.
That I can promise you. You're going to get sick at least once in your life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we need to reiterate that we've got to take care of our health. I don't care how much money you have, but if you don't have your health, that's a whole different thing.
That is a whole different thing. And since we're talking about the good things about the Affordable Care Act, another thing that it did was it made wellness visits free. What is a wellness visit? A wellness visit is that one visit, as I always tell my clients, hey, that one visit that's free. So when you go for that wellness visit, make sure your primary care provider, your doctor, whoever it is, they do everything, not just give you a regular checkup, but that's when you get x-rays for free. That's when you get laboratory work for free. And normally you might have to pay for those additional services. But in that wellness visit, make the appointment. Tell the schedule at the doctor's office, this is my wellness visit. And when you get there, tell the doctor, hey, I need you to check out everything. Go underneath the hood, pull some blood, take some urine, get it all done. Make sure you take advantage of this, because why? Not because I'm frugal, but because I'm saying to you, it's free, it's yours, you have a right to it, you paid for it, so you should get it.
Absolutely. I'm glad you spoke about that. In the as Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act itself, there are a lot of things that are listed under there that are true benefits for each person. And they do have an option of not just one kind, it seems.
Yes. One of the benefits that definitely affect our community, Cam, is mental health care.
Yes.
And not that I'm saying anything about you, because I know you got your stuff together. But
I see you try to throw
mental
that
health care, meaning that the Affordable Care Act purposely allows you to get care for your head. We all are dealing with some sort of issues right now. A lot of people are probably experiencing depression. So under the Affordable Care Act, you are afforded X amount of sessions with a therapist, a psychologist, someone who really understands that part of the body. And you should take advantage of these services. Another benefit that some people may not realize, and I touched on a little bit in the beginning, you have what's called a maxed out. What that means simply is, if you have some sort of illness that is very expensive, you brought up cancer. If you have cancer treatments, they will add up quickly and they will go past 5,000, 10,000. They can get into the hundreds of thousands. Look at your policy. Why? Because it's going to say, hey, you will pay no more than this amount. It might be 5,000, it might be 11,000. But that is to ensure that people are not going bankrupt anymore because of health care.
Right.
Because I don't know if you remember, before Obamacare, before the Affordable Care Act, people could be in debt to $200,000-$300,000 due to health care. Now you have a fixed amount. You will know exactly what you're going to owe if you max out. And that max out will be whatever that number is. Like I said, some policies, it might be 2, 3, 5,000. Some of them might be 11,000. But at least you're not going to hit the $100,000 mark.
That's great.
And so that is a direct financial benefit that we all should take advantage of.
Absolutely. And we're talking about not only cancer, open heart surgery. A lot of people with heart.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it. So if you have a stroke or something happens to you, you have a max out also. We look at that. Kidney failure is a huge one. Where you
Kidney failure, I mean, we're talking dialysis. We're talking if mama needs a hip replacement. We're talking a whole bunch of things that at least you know, hey, we don't have to go bankrupt over this. Now, yes, you're going to be on the hook for that 5,000, 10,000, whatever that number is, but you're not going to be on the hook for $100,000.
Right.
And the whole concept is people should not be bankrupt because of health care. That's the whole concept. We're trying to protect Americans and say, hey, Mr. Insurance Carrier, we're going to set you up with these customers, these patients, these clients. In return, Mr. Insured for the health insurance, the person that needs the health insurance, you're only going to have to pay X amount. And the idea is that, hey, at least now you can begin to budget for stuff.
Absolutely. We want to make sure and we reiterate what we're talking about right now. We're in the state of Texas. So we are. We
are in the state of Texas. Now Texas is very interesting versus a California or a New York, because Texas has chose not to participate in the Affordable Care Act. So what happens is individuals have to go on the exchange, but they're now part of a, if you will, sort of a national group exchange. It's bad that Texas chose not to, because other states, I shouldn't say areas, other states, because insurance is a state directive, it's a state mandated, a state control. For example, we have the Texas Department of Insurance that controls all of the types of insurances here in Texas, but the state of Texas has elected not to participate in the Affordable Care Act, versus in California, versus in New York, prior to the Affordable Care Act, and now they have seen an actual decrease in their health costs. Why? Because when you have that many people covered, that many people going to the doctor on a timely, regular basis, you don't have this many folks going to the emergency room as before just because they need to get dialysis because they can't afford it, or going to the emergency room because they have some sniffles. Now you have people going to the emergency room because they actually need to be in the emergency room. Maybe their eyeball popped out. That's a gross example, but you understand my point. So in New York, in California, I highlight those two states because those states are similar to us as far as size and population. They're big states here in the U.S. They have brought their costs down. Texas, maybe that political change that I'm hearing about going on in Georgia and other places may come to us, and we will start reaping some of these benefits that, believe it or not, our federal individual tax dollars are paying for it to help these other states that we chose not to participate in. So I don't mean to make a political spin, because that's not why I'm here. That's not my job. You know that better than me. So I'm going to leave that one alone.
Okay. We stepped in there, right?
I did, unfortunately. Let me clean my boot off right quick.
There's some health plan options. Several of them have health plan options. And let's speak about deductibles, because many times people that's the first thing they say. I think we all say something like that when we go to the car dealership. How much is it? We go to the health care. How much is it? Instead of looking at the plan itself and the benefits of it, and that will tell how much.
You know, and thank you for bringing up the word deductible, because deductible is applicable to your homeowners, is also applicable to your health care.
Yes.
Why is the word deductible? Because deductible is a way for the insurance company, for whatever policy you have, I'm just going to offer a general definition of deductible, to allow you to participate in the loss, as the insurance company calls it. Meaning, hey, if you have to pay a $500, or maybe in a healthcare policy, a $3,000 deductible, you are going to be more careful before you file a claim. You're going to think about it. So in health insurance, you might have a $3,000 deductible. And I'm going to also throw another piece to it, in if you don't mind, Cam, co-insurance.
Yes.
A lot of policies have well, all health insurance policies have co-insurance. And what co-insurance means, this is the part that the insurer is going to actually pay after the deductible is met. So you have the deductible. That deductible, let's say, is $3,000. That means for your benefit year, and as I said earlier, it could be from January to December, or it might have begun in March and end in February, depending on how your policy was established. But during that benefit year, you're going to pay the upfront cost first. So hopefully you have a lower deductible, so you won't have to pay as much. But here's the catch, like you brought up, Cam. If you have a lower deductible, you're going to have a higher premium, and that's your monthly cost that you're going to pay no matter what. So think of like your auto insurance. You're going to pay every month for this health insurance, unless, of course, you by chance work for the world's greatest employer who says, you know what, I'm going to cover your health insurance. Don't worry about it. Not too many employers do that. So you have the deductible. Let's say your deductible was $3,000. You're going to pay everything that you incur within that benefit year up to $3,000. Once you meet that deductible, now a bell will go off. Figuratively, not literally, figuratively, a bell will go off. And then what's going to happen is your co-insurance is going to kick in. That's the percentage that the health insurance company is going to pay. So if you have 100%, you got a good policy. That means you met the deductible. From this point forward, the only thing you're going to be responsible for is your premium. If you have 80%, that means if you have a $1,000 bill, met your deductible, 80% co-insurance, you're still going to be on the hook for $200. So the insurance company is going to pay $800 of the $1,000, and you keep going like that. Now, I talked about earlier, I hope you guys remember this, max out, where I said there was a maximum you're going to have to pay. In your policy, you need to discover what is that number. If that number is 3,000, that number is 11,000. That's the maximum you're going to have to pay. So if you have an 80% co-insurance, and then you're paying that 200, because I use the example of 1,000. So you're paying that 200, 80%. But let's say you have paid over this benefit year, and your benefit year goes from January to December, and we're now in November, and you are approaching that max out number where out of your pocket, you've now paid collectively, let's say $6,000, because that's your max out number. Once you hit that max out number, guess what, my friend? You're done. The only thing you have to pay going forward is that premium, which, as you know, if you own a home, if you got a car, you're going to pay that premium no matter what. That's just a given in life. But at least with health insurance, because the Affordable Care Act was designed to say, hey, we're not trying to bankrupt you because you got sick. Right. We want you to get better, get back on your feet, and get back to work so you can start earning more money for yourself and yes, for the government. So that is another benefit, but I put that little government piece in there because I always find that part interesting.
I like that. In doing so, again, just touching base about 40 million people being unemployed. Many of them did not know, and they've had calls or had emails as of now. They didn't know they could get the health insurance. They didn't know it would be provided for them.
It is provided for them, and I would, if you don't mind, I would invite them to call me if you have general questions. 832-377-7716. I'll say it one more time. 832-377-7716. Call me if you have any kind of question about this. If you're one of those who didn't realize, hey, I can get health insurance, I lost my job, now is the time. Because remember I said, after Halloween, it's health insurance season. So call me now. It's health insurance season. This is the time to find out what we can do to provide coverage for you, for your family, for whomever. Because God forbid you get COVID and you don't have coverage. Yes. That's going to be a steep bill. But if you have coverage and if you have coverage, at least now you're covered when you walk into that hospital, you're not going to be worried about that. You can focus on getting better. You can focus on healing. And that's what you should be focused on. And I'm going to repeat it again, because the government wants you to get better, because the government wants you back out there earning. And if you start earning, Guess who's going to reap the benefits of that with your tax dollars? But anyway, there I go again.
Let's give that number again and how people can get in touch with you while we're still talking about this.
Please contact me directly at 832-377-7716. That is my direct line. And I want to talk to you. I want to help you because health insurance is so important. Again, after Halloween, it kicks in. You have Medicare. So I don't know if maybe your mother, your father, your uncle, your neighbor, whoever, Medicare kicks in. And then if yourself, Affordable Care Act, your children, we got to get ourselves healthy. We got to take care of ourselves. If you're an employer and you know, hey, I want to provide this benefit to my employees, talk to me. Let me see what we can do to take care of ourselves. Because if everyone's healthy, guess what? We can all sit back and watch the Cam show every day.
I appreciate that plug, my friend. November 1st to December the 15th. And you also said there was another date for December the 7th. What was that?
Yes, Medicare. Medicare for those 65 and older. You know, so if you're getting ready to turn 65 or know someone's getting ready to turn 65, Medicare is something else that definitely, it is a government-run program. And let me just say this, before the Affordable Care Act, it was considered, and probably still is considered by a lot of experts, as one of the best run government programs. Yes, it has some problems. Anytime you have people involved, there are going to be some hiccups. But overall, this has been proven to be one of the best run programs in America. It provides coverage for, like I said, once again, 65 and older. And that takes place, you can begin signing up 90 days before your birthday and 90 days after your birthday. So you have like a 6-month window to get onto Medicare. I implore you, hey, get yourself a broker, let him run through all of the options. Make sure we get the doctor that you want to stay with. Make sure we get the dentist you want to stay with, the healthcare facility, whatever it is that's going to provide the coverage that person needs, your loved one. Let's see that we can take care of that, because that is the beautiful thing of it.
Absolutely. We have a little time. I want you to give the list of the other insurances that you represent. He does all types of insurance. So let's speak on that, because this is the number you're going to need, family. You just give Tracy a call. He has all type of insurances for commercial as well as residential and other things. Let's tell them.
Commercial and personal. The other type of insurance is, as you know, is life insurance.
Yes.
All of us are going to go to heaven one day. It's going to happen, I promise you. So instead of being a burden to your family, we have final expense. You may want to retire one day. The one thing that a lot of people don't know, and maybe we can do a show on this, is the fact that insurance, life insurance, is that one vehicle with retirement that is a tax-free dollar versus mutual funds or things like that could possibly be pre-tax or after-tax. Life insurance is the one retirement vehicle that is a tax-free dollar, meaning you will pay zero taxes as far as that investment is concerned. Now, once you get the money and start spending money, you might pay sales tax when you buy stuff with it, but that's between you and whoever you purchase. But life insurance. And then we have term life insurance for those who may not be able to afford but still want to be able to give. That is an excellent way for someone to make sure that your family is provided for upon your death. So I implore us to, as a community, as a family, to look out not just for ourselves with health insurance, but look out for those around us, because there's no reason for your loved ones to have to go into debt to bury you. That makes zero sense in this time. Zero sense. The other thing is, yes, we have auto insurance. We have business insurance. We have all the insurances that you need at 832-377-7716. But the main two that Cam, you brought me on to speak about was health insurance, because we got to get people healthy. There's no reason why you should not be feeling better, because I want you to feel better so you can get out there and do more and be more, because that's the whole thing.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, my friend, so much. Let's give that number one more time.
832-377-7716. And I appreciate you so much, man.
Let's do it again. 832.
377 7716. You know, if you have me do it one more time, I'm about to sing this song.
You can't sing, though. I appreciate you so much, my friend. That is Tracy Whitehead, our insurance advisor. And I'm telling you, if you need to know anything about insurance, anything about any type of insurance, he is a guru. He knows all of it. And I'm telling you, my friend, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. December the 15th is the last day of enrollment for Obamacare Affordable Care Act 2021. That's what we're signing up for 2021.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. And make sure you call me, 832-377-7716, so we can get you insured. Mr. Hill, I appreciate you more than you know.
Thank you so much, my friend. Have a great one. I appreciate you. Guys, on tomorrow, we will have Lavelle Crawford, comedian Lavelle Crawford. He will be here for the whole time. Thank you so much. 12:30, 1:30 Central Standard Time. Bye.